The following is a class on the Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter number 7, text number 13, given by His Grace Sriman Sankarshan Das Adhikari, recorded on September 18th, 2010, in Ahiloi, Bulgaria.
So, tonight we are reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 7, text number 13. Tribhir gunamayair bhavair Ebi sarvam idam jagat Mohitang nabijanati Mamebhya paramavyayam Tribhir gunamaya bhavair Ebi sarvam idam jagat Mohitang nabijanati Mamebhya paramavyayam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Deluded by the three modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance, the whole world does not know me, who above the modes and inexhaustible. Purport. The whole world is enchanted by the three modes of material nature. Those who are bewildered by these three modes cannot understand that transcendental to this material nature is the Supreme Lord, Krishna. Every living entity under the influence of material nature has a particular type of body and a particular type of psychological and biological activities accordingly. There are four classes of men functioning in the three modes of material nature. Those who are purely in the mode of goodness are called Brahmins. Those who are purely in the mode of passion are called Kshatriyas. Those who are in the modes of both passion and ignorance are called Vaishyas. And those who are completely in ignorance are called Shudras. And those who are less than that are animals, or animal life. However, these designations are not permanent. I may be either a Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or whatever. In any case, this life is temporary. But although this life is temporary, and we do not know what we are going to be in the next life, but the spell of this illusory energy, we consider ourselves in terms of this bodily conception of life, and thus we think that we are American, Indian, Russian, Bulgarian, or Brahmin, Hindu, Muslim, etc. I added Bulgarian. And if we become entangled with the modes of material nature, then we forget the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is behind all these modes. So Lord Sri Krishna says that living entities deluded by these three modes of nature do not understand that behind the material background is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are many different kinds of living entities, human beings, demigods, animals, etc., and each and every one of them is under the influence of material nature, and all of them have forgotten the transcendent personality of Godhead. Those who are in the modes of passion and ignorance, and even those who are in the mode of goodness, cannot go beyond the impersonal Brahman conception of the absolute truth. They are bewildered before the Supreme Lord in His personal feature, which possesses all beauty, opulence, knowledge, strength, fame, and renunciation. When even those who are in goodness cannot understand, what hope is there for those in passion and ignorance? Krishna consciousness is transcendental to all these three modes of material nature, and those who are truly established in Krishna consciousness are actually liberated. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jata Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Zavadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha So, Krishna says nobody knows him. Why? The covering influence of the modes of nature. We see how true it is. Just walking down the street, how many people know Krishna? People are completely ignorant of Krishna. They're blinded by these modes of nature. Goodness, passion, ignorance. The animals are also blinded. There's like this dog out here. All they can do is bark, 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 bark. He doesn't think, oh, I'm disturbing the Bhagavad Gita lecture with my barking. Let me be humble and not disturb the lecture. He just keeps barking, barking, barking. Because he's covered by the modes of nature. So actually, any human being who is covered by the modes, he is considered animal. He is not considered human being. How important it is to get out of this influence of the modes of nature. The method for getting out is elaborately described in the following verse. Daivihi yesha gunamai mamamayo darajya mameva ye prapadyante mayam mitam tarantite. This divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is very, very difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me, for them it is very easy to cross over. So what the yogis take thousands of years to accomplish, but the mental speculators take thousands and thousands of years to accomplish. We can easily accomplish in this one lifetime. Simply we have to surrender to Krishna. Then immediately we overcome the modes. These modes of material nature, they are compared to a vast ocean. Just imagine if you were sailing on a ship across the Atlantic Ocean. and you went out on the deck and you slipped on a banana peel and you fell into the ocean. And you called out, "Help, help, help." Everybody was in the ballroom having a party at the time. So no one heard your cry for help. And now you're out there with no life jacket in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. It's hopeless. You'll drown within a few minutes. You'll be finished. You'll be dead. See? But if that ocean could all of a sudden just shrink to be just a drop, a little tiny puddle of water in the hand, then you would have no problems. So this is what happens when you surrender to Krishna. Right now you're drowning in the middle of a huge ocean. But if you will simply surrender to Krishna, that ocean goes zip, it becomes a little tiny puddle of water in your hand. This is confirmed in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Samashvataye palavaplavam mahatpatam jupunyajashomarare bhavambadir vatsa parang param padam padan padam yad vipatam natesham. For that person who takes shelter of the boat of the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna, who is the shelter of the cosmic manifestation, and who is called sometimes Murari because he annihilated that rascal demon named Mura. This vast, insurmountable ocean of material existence becomes zip, reduced down to the amount of water contained within the hoofprint of a can. For such a fortunate soul who has gotten a ticket on that boat, he's going to Parampadam, the Vaikuntha realm, the transcendental part of Yama. He doesn't have to be tortured anymore in that place. Padam padam yad badam natesham. No more being tortured in that place where there is danger at every step. Actually, this material world is becoming more and more dangerous. Now, especially in the United States, they're so afraid of the terrorists. Every time I go to get on the airplane, they frisk me. I'm afraid I'm a terrorist. They're so scared. I joke with them, I'm getting because I'm wearing a dhoti. Afraid I have a machine gun or something inside my dhoti. Some bomb, hidden inside. Even on our kopans, we tie a knot on the kopanas, the Brahmin underwear. So the authorities, they found that knot and they got scared. It was some kind of bomb. So they're so much fearful, you see. They're so much fearful. Becoming more and more fearful, you see. But if they would just chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, and all that fear, it goes away. Actually, it's a true story. Many years ago, there was a terrorist attack in Rome at the El Al counter in the Rome airport. Many people hate the Israelis, the Jews. So the terrorists came with machine guns to the El Al counter, the waiting area for El Al Airlines, you see. It's famous. It was in the news maybe 20 years ago. And they opened up their machine guns and shot everybody dead. Now, do you know that there were many devotees who were also there in that waiting area? Going on the El Al flight. Many of our ISKCON devotees were there. And just before the terrorists came, one devotee had to go to the bathroom. Another devotee had to go double check something about his luggage. Everyone had, for some reason, everybody had to go somewhere at that time. And they came back and they found that there had just been a massacre while they were going to the bathroom. You see? Krishna protects his devotees. And even if death comes, the devotee is not scared. What's the second word? Mare Krishna Rake Krishna Mare Ke. If Krishna wants to kill me, nobody can protect me. If he wants to kill me right now, that's fine. I'm in his property. He can take me out of this body whenever he wants. It's fine with me. If Krishna wants to take me right now, that's cool. I don't mind. I'm prepared to leave right now. I have nothing to be afraid of. Because my only business is to serve Krishna. I can serve him in this body. I can serve him in another body. If he takes me out, he wants me to shift from the pujari room to the kitchen or something like that, different new service. I have no problem if Krishna wants to give me a transfer to a different department. Because I know my devotional service will go on eternally. You see. So when Krishna wants to take me, I'm prepared. Take me, Lord, I'm yours. And he wants me to stay here. Even if the whole Bulgarian army comes to kill me, they won't be able to touch me. Of course, Mathura wouldn't come. He's a devotee. He's an officer. He would alert me they're coming to kill you. He would give me the secret. So, in this way, a devotee has no fear, you see. He's absolutely fearless. That whatever Krishna does is the best. We don't have to worry about anything, you see. All we have to do is take complete shelter of Krishna. Even if we're going through some horrible situation in our family life, we shouldn't be so overly devastated by them. Because I've had millions of families and millions of lifetimes. This one family I have now, it's not the all in all. Whatever family members I have now, I should simply try to engage them in Krishna's service, that's all. And leave everything else in Krishna's hands, that's all. So in this way, a devotee becomes completely happy just by taking shelter of the Lord. Why? Because that taking shelter immediately liberates him from the influence of the modes. The mode of ignorance is miserable in the beginning, and even more miserable in the end. The mode of passion seems very attractive in the beginning, but it becomes bitter poison in the end. The mode of goodness is favorable for Krishna consciousness. Even though it's bitter in the beginning, it becomes very, very sweet in the end because it leads to Krishna Bhakti. This is confirmed in chapter 18, text number 37 of the Bhagavad Gita. Yattadagre vishamiva parimame mritopamam satsukam satvikam proktam atmabuddhi prasadajam. That which in the beginning may be just like poison, but in the end becomes the sweetest nectar, and which awakens one to self-realization, is said to be happiness in the mode of goodness. But you know what? By the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, we can get transcendental happiness, which is nectar in the beginning and even more nectar in the end. You don't have to go through poison to get the nectar in Krishna consciousness. All you have to do is chant, dance and feast, and you get instant nirvana. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. What could be sweeter? Krishna himself has descended in the form of his holy name. Golokera Premadhana Hadi Nama Sankirtana. This is imported straight from Goloka Vrindavan. You see, this is the most amazing, most exotic import of them all. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So how to take advantage of this import? The first thing you do when you get up in the morning? What is that? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And when you brush your teeth, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. What about when you take your shower? Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. What about at breakfast time? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. What about when you go to work? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And on your lunch break? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. And when you get off work? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. And when you go home? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. And what do you do with all your family members when you get home? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And before you take rest, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. And what do you dream all night long? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. And what is that airplane that takes you back to Goloka Vrindavan? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So what could be sweeter? And what do you chant on the airplane? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So just see how sublime is this process. Anybody can chant Hare Krishna. Even Stephen Hawking can do it on his voice synthesizer. I wish he would. Everybody can chant Hare Krishna. And in this way, they will be living in the sweetest happiness at every minute. A life completely free of anxieties, you see. Where the influence of the modes of nature become completely non-existent. No more pinching of the modes of nature. Simply the sweetest happiness at every minute. In connection with that supreme, all-powerful, all-beautiful, all-renounced, all-knowledgeable, all-wealthy, and all-famous personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. What is this called? Krishna consciousness. And that is the name of our society. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Prabhupada has given such a wonderful name. ISKCON. So if we can take the wonderful teachings of Srila Prabhupada, embrace them in our heart of hearts, always think in such a way that will please to Srila Prabhupada. Always speak in such a way that will please Srila Prabhupada. And always act in such a way that will please Srila Prabhupada. We will be living in the spiritual sky at every minute. We will not be living in Bulgaria. We will be living in Paravyama, the spiritual sky. So we simply have to take shelter of these wonderful, beautiful names. Serve them with love. And serve the Vaishnavas with love. That's very important, you know. Because what is the first defense against the chanting of the holy name? To offend Vaishnavas. So unless I properly serve the Vaishnavas, I will never get Namaruchi. I can go on chanting for millions of lifetimes. As long as I'm offending Vaishnavas, I will rot in this material existence. So we must not only be a devotee of the name, we must also become the devotee of the devotees. As I am many times explaining, as Lord Sri Krishna tells to Arjuna, as quoted in the Adi Purana, Ye me bhakta jana parta, na me bhaktastate janaha, mad bhaktanam chaye bhaktas te me bhaktatamamata. O son of Prita, ye me bhakta jana parta, the one who is my devotee, na me bhaktas, he's not my devotee, but the one who is the devotee of my devotee. He is my real devotee. So how much am I the devotee of the devotees? How much do I love the Vaishnavas? Only to that extent can I truly love the holy name. So every devotee in our movement is a very, very valuable asset. Because the more I can learn to love each and every devotee for his or her wonderful qualities, the more I advance in Krishna consciousness. And the more I develop Nama Ruchi, the taste for the name. So we should never think the devotees are ordinary people. These men and women, boys and girls who have come to this movement, they are not ordinary souls. I remember one time, Prabhupada read one letter from Prabhupada. I was amazed by what Prabhupada said. I honestly could not imagine how it was true. But putting full faith in the words of my spiritual master, I accepted. Well, it must be true because Prabhupada said it. You know what Prabhupada said? He said, you've all been sent to me by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So, when I see my disciples and I see the second generation of devotees, then I think, Prabhupada is so kind, he has sent all these wonderful devotees to ISKCON. You all have been sent by Srila Prabhupada. Somehow or other, Prabhupada has sent you all to carry on this mission, you see. So every one of you is very, very special. Every one of you is very, very dear. You are the representatives of Srila Prabhupada. So everyone we must learn to how to greatly respect the devotees, you see. So, I can ask now if there's any questions. Narada Muni Prabhu.
Yes, but sometimes we, when we are under the influence of the modes of nature, we even, if we don't want, we still commit offenses to the Vaishnavas, especially when we're hungry.
So what's the question?
Yeah, what to do?
You have to get out of the modes. The easiest way to get out of the modes is to rise early in the morning before sunrise every day and chant 16 quality rounds. It's called quality japa during Brahma Muhurta. That's the very best formula for getting out of the modes. If you make that a regular daily practice, even if you're out in the village, it's too cold out to get out of bed, just stay in bed and chant Hare Krishna if you have to. If you can't get out, one time you told me you can't get out of bed and it's so cold out in the village in the winter. Even if you sit there wrapped up in your blanket and chant Hare Krishna, I don't mind, but chant Hare Krishna in the early morning. Somehow or other, chant in the early morning hours. Of course, ideally, get up, take bath, have an arti, you see. But if under circumstances you can't do that, it's like 20 degrees below zero or something. Still, you should rise early and chant. Because that chanting in the early morning hours will deliver you. It will save you from the influence of the modes. You see, once you get situated in the early morning hours in pure goodness by taking shelter of the name, then you can easily repel the influence of the modes all day long. But if you start off your day under the influence of the modes, then how you don't have the energy to fight the modes. You're under the modes already. This is why ashram life is so ideal, you see. Every morning, rise by 4, take shower, attend Mangalarti. Immediately you're in pure goodness, you see. So if you're not living in an ashram, then as far as possible, you make your home like an ashram. That's a very important thing. And that way you become spiritually powerful. The modes won't be able to mess with you. You'll be tough. Tough fighter. Next question. Yeah.
Srila Prabhupada has said that it's better to stay home but our heart be in the temple rather stay at the temple but our heart will be at our home. So is it okay to stay at home?
Prabhupada said it's better to live in the temple. I don't know where you heard that. Maybe. But Prabhupada, if you have to live at home, you have to live at home. But Prabhupada he always encouraged to come and live with devotees if it's possible. If it's not possible, then you do the best you can. No, it's a fact. It's better to be... The best thing is to make the temple in your heart, that's true, but the temple is the best place to do that, that's a fact. It's not that living with non-devotees is equally beneficial as living with devotees. It's not. But if under circumstance you're not able to live with the devotees, then you have to do the best you can, make the best use of a bad bargain. You get one room that's Krishna conscious room. It's your own room that you can make it Krishna conscious. Nice beautiful pictures of Krishna, Prabhupada, Radha, Panchatattva. Make it a nice altar. Make a temple in your home. That you must do that. You make a place of spiritual refuge in your home where you can feel as a temple in your home. You're not so pure you can just make a temple in your heart and without having something external set up as a temple. You need an external temple right now as a neophyte devotee. You have to have an external temple. Mahabhagavat, doesn't need that, but still the Mahabhagavat will do it to show by example. You need an external temple, not just in your home. Do you have something in your home? Yeah, very good. Okay, next question. Go to Chandra Prabhu.
Since you spoke about getting up early in the morning, and he says that while the spiritual master is here, it's easy to get up early in the morning, but when he is not, we cannot always do this.
So why do you think the spiritual master is not always here? That's my question. Why do you think the spiritual master is not always here? Don't you realize there are two presences of Sri Guru, the Vani and the Vapu? The most powerful, potent form of Guru is the Vani, Guru Vani. So the Vapu may not be here, but Vani is here. Your spiritual master's orders are there. They are more powerful than his physical presence. Prabhupada's Vapu is gone, but ISKCON is going strong. You understand? This movement has grown astronomically since Prabhupada's Vapu departed. How is that possible? Because his Vani is more powerful than his Vapu. So, not only Prabhupada, but any bona fide spiritual master, his Vani is more powerful than his Vapu. So you must learn how to connect with Vapu. With Vani. With Vani, yes. So when Vapu is there, you take full advantage. Use the Vapu to help you connect with Vani. That is the purpose of Vapu. Whenever you have that opportunity for Vapu, take full advantage. Because that will strengthen your relationship with Guru Vani. Next question. Yes.
During the morning lecture, you mentioned about the proper mood to chant the holy name, and there is that we should offer our respects to others. But with some persons, it's very difficult to offer our respects. What is the proper thing we should do?
Talking about the non-devotees? Or to devotees? For some devotees also. Well, even if you can't physically offer your obeisances, and then within your heart you must. Just like I have different relationships with different God brothers all over the world. But hardly I ever see them. But I understand that my relationship with them, my attitude towards them is very, very important. So even if I'm not able to physically offer my obeisances to them, or even with some of them who I've had sometimes some difficulties getting along, it doesn't matter. I respect all of them as my worshipful Prabhus, you see. One of my godbrothers was having difficulty associating with his godbrothers. He wrote Prabhupada about this. Prabhupada said, yes, with my godbrothers I got nothing but compression, repression, and depression. But I didn't lose my enthusiasm. So sometimes that happens. We get compression, repression, and depression from the different devotees. Sometimes it happens. It's the reality, let's face it. But still, we have to have that loving respect for every Vaishnava, whether I get along well or I don't get along well with them. That quality is called magnanimity. One who is the well-wisher of all, you see. He's magnanimous. To friend and enemy alike, he is equally the well-wisher, you see.
И към своите приятели, и към враговете, той е еднакво разположен.
His love goes to all, without condition.
Любовта му е безусловна към всички.
Even if he's been misused, abused, disrespected, neglected, or whatever it may be by a karmi or even by a devotee, he doesn't think badly.
Дори към него да се отнасяли по лош начин, било то карми или прелюбени, той не мисли.
But he always thinks about the wonderful qualities.
Той винаги мисли за добрите качества на тези.
He thinks, well, this devotee has been mistreated me. Actually, it's my own karma. He's simply delivering me my own karma. It's not his fault.
Ако някой, той си мисли, ако някой прелюбен се отнася лошо към мен, това е моята карма, не е негова.
In a previous last lifetime, I was very offensive to him, and now Krishna is arranging that I should get my karma.
Предишен живот аз съм бил оскърбително настроен към него и той сега ми връща.
You see, even after Diksha, there's still that 1% karmic reaction we get to help us remain and become more and more sober.
Дори след като сме приели посвещение, Дикша остава 1% кармични реакции, които ни помагат да оставаме трезви.
So I should never blame someone, even if they actually abuse me. I should never blame them.
Затова ние никога не трябва да обвиняваме другите, дори и те да се отнасят лошо.
You should think, I abused them or I abused somebody in the past, and now this person has been chosen to deliver my karma to me. That's all. They're just the DHL man for my karma. That's all.
Ние трябва да си мислим, че аз в миналото съм направил нещо лошо на някой друг или на същата личност.
It's my fault
И сега по карма това ми се
that I was mistreated, not their fault.
Тоест, мой проблем, моя грешка е била,
That's the way you should always think.
че се отнесли към мене лошо. И
Never hold grudges,
винаги трябва да мисли по този начин.
because they'll fill your heart with smudges.
Човек никога да не пази лоши чувства в сърцето си, защото сърцето се замърсява по този начин.
Yes.
You spoke about the importance about offenses, how
Той ще отговори само на английски.
говореше за оскърбленията. И аз съдих тази история, който този преданодаден медитирал и се изсмял в медитацията си, а покрай него минал друг преданодаден, който си помислил, че този преданодаден се смее на него, защото бил куц. И в този смисъл искам да питам, какво, когато извършим оскърбление съзнателно към някой преданодаден, не знаем, че сме го оскърбили, някакъв начин милостта се оттегли от нас, тогава какво може да направим и как да разберем, че сме оскърбили тази личност, когато той не ни каже? И как да се покаяме за това, което сме извършили като оскърбление? Ако така не разберем дали сме
If we unintentionally offend someone, and in this way the mercy withdraws from us, what we should do in this situation and how to repent for this.
Well, we should apologize. I'm very sorry, Prabhu. I didn't mean to offend you. Please forgive me. Very humbly beg forgiveness. And not just on the lips. We have to. It's not like, well, I'm sorry, then you go on acting in a improper way. No, when you should not only apologize on the lips, but you should apologize by your actions also, by not acting in that way that offended the devotee ever again.
Това не трябва да бъде само повърхностно, от устата да казано, но трябва с действията си да покажем, че не искаме повече да оскърбяваме.
I've noticed in America the tendency over there, I don't know about in Europe, but people say, I'm sorry, and they do the same thing again, and they say, I'm sorry, and do the same thing again. I'm sorry should not be only on the lips. I'm sorry there should be a change of heart also. If you really regret what you did, then you will change your heart. Nardmani.
Krishna tells Arjuna that he knows the past, present, and future. What will happen? So Narada Muni Prabhu thinks that meetings like this one this evening are not accidental. So
That's right.
what
This meeting is happening tonight by Krishna's arrangement. That's a bit. Not by, not a result of the Big Bang. Any other questions? Yes, Naradi Manaji.
Извърши оскърбление към преданите, загуба вкус на света и се оказва в един затворен кръг. Кое може да е това нещо, което
If a devotee commits offenses to the holy name, he loses the taste to associate with devotees. And on the other side, if he or she offends the devotees, he loses the taste for the holy name.
Yeah.
So it's like a vicious circle. How to escape this?
You can break it on either side. Either side you can break out of the vicious cycle. Why not break out from both sides? If there's two doors to the prison, why not break out of both doors? Dive deeply into the name. Chant from your heart, not from your mouth. And serve the Vaishnavas with love. Shru 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 Shrudanasya Vasudeva Gataruchi Syam Mahat Sevya Vipra Punya Tirtana Sevana. By serving the devotees who are completely free from vice, great service is done. By such service one gains an affinity for hearing the messages of Vasudeva. So far I'd fight it from both ends. Be nice to the devotees and chant the holy name with love. And then whatever advancement you make in your chanting, that will enhance your relationship with the devotees. And whatever advancement you make in associating with devotees, that will enhance your chanting, which will enhance your relationships, which will enhance your chanting, which will enhance your relationships, which will enhance your chanting, etc., 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 etc. So bounce them off each other, you see. It's a vicious cycle if you go the negative way, but if you go the positive way, it's an amazing spiral of liberation. See, you can take it as a vicious circle or an amazing spiral. Which way do you want to go?
What is the quality that a devotee must possess to actually do this?
Sincerity. Are you sincere? Be sincere. Be sincere. Do you sincerely want to become Krishna conscious?
Yes.
You're sincere? That is the quality required. Now act on your sincerity. in all times, all places, and all circumstances,
винаги във всички обстоятелства,
without deviation.
но без да се отклоняваш.
And then you'll be flying high
И тогава просто ще летиш високо.
on the magic carpet.
Едно вълшебно килимче.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Any other questions? Nitai Chandra Prabhu.
Искам да питам, понеже понякога организираме такива проповеднически програми, след това нарушава нашата садана. Трябва ли да става това или по-добре да не правим контролата?
Sometimes when we organize such preaching programs, this disturbs our sadhana. Should this happen or we should not make a compromise?
Actually, this organizing such programs, this is the greatest sadhana. Next question. Krishna Priya Manager.
Better to keep both together?
Yes.
Wouldn't it be better to keep both together, sadhana and
Yeah.
festival?
This is by having a good japa habit is very important. That come hell or high water, you're going to get those rounds done every day without fail, early in the day. Sometimes devotees who have difficulty chanting, I tell them, no, connect your chanting with your eating. For example, you can say, well, my vow is I won't take a morsel of prasadam until I finish my rounds every day. Do you think you'll neglect your rounds if you have that vow? No way. Those rounds will be done early every day. Or if that's too austere of a vow, you can say, well, at least 4 rounds done before breakfast. 4 rounds before. This is what Prabhupada used to do when he was a householder. 4 rounds before breakfast, 4 before lunch, 4 before dinner, and 4 before taking them. Shruti Kirti Prabhu told us this. Prabhupada told him this when he was serving Prabhupada. So if you connect your chanting with your eating, that will definitely help. Now, when you organize these big festivals like this, do you stop eating? Or do you still take prasad when there's a big festival going on? Sometimes no eating, you're so busy. Yeah. Well, if it's sometimes extreme, then you can make the rounds up the next day, Prabhupada said. If there's extreme urgency of service, you can make the rounds up the following day. He states that in the Nectar Devotion. But these festivals, this is the greatest sadhana, actually. Jai Jagannath Rath Yatra ki Jai. Any other question?
Case like this.
Huh?
There was a Rath Yatra yesterday. Today the festival is to take care of the devotees, and the next festival of Rath Yatra next day.
Are you caught up on your rounds?
He finished his yesterday's rounds.
You finished yesterday's rounds. Oh, okay, well, that's good. Somebody should. Do you have any pressing service this evening?
He planned to finish his rounds.
Yeah, that's good. One thing is, leaders have to learn how to delegate. Don't try to do everything yourself. You have to learn the art of delegation so you have time for your own sadhana. It's a very important thing.
служението.
Don't try to be the supreme controller.
Не се опитвай да бъдеш върховният контролер.
Just always remain the humble servant.
Просто винаги остави смирение.
And you delegate responsibility.
Делегирай отговорности на другите.
Prabhupada delegated so many responsibilities.
Шила Прабхупад е делегирал толкова много отговорности.
So a leader has to be expert in the art of delegation. That's a very important thing.
Затова лидерите трябва да са опитни в изкуството да делегират отговорности.
Any other questions? Bhakti Mataji.
Искам да попитам. Значи една практична история, която се случи, е това лято искахме да направим една програма в едно читалище и се обадихме на някои бакти и питахме дали можете да вземат участие да дадат лекция. И тези бакти казаха, че понеже е четвъртък и той е под влиянието на една неблагоприятна планета и понеже Прабхупад веднъж бил отменил своя лекция по този случай, не е приятно да се прави лекция в четвъртък. И това беше всъщност последната възможност, която имаме в този град да направим тази лекция. И последствие всички се разотираха и исках да попитам, Прабхупад, би ли бил удовлетворен, ако заради това отменим лекцията и това е някаква тънкост в ведическата култура, може би, която следва вече по-издигнатите ли чувства.
And this is some practical event that happened. They organized a preaching program in some library in one town, and they invited some devotees to give the class, to give the lecture. But this devotee refused because he said that it is Thursday, and Thursday is not a auspicious day to because Srila Prabhupada said that one time he cancelled his lecture. So is this pleasing to Srila Prabhupada?
Actually, Prabhupada said Thursday afternoon. What time was the program? Thursday evening. But there are ways even if you want to follow those rules very strictly, all you have to do is put. Let's say there's let's say the only seat that was available to get to the Holy Dham was a flight on Thursday. So what you do is you put your suitcase outside the door on Wednesday night. So that way you began the trip on Wednesday.
Има начин, по който можеш да избегнеш неблагоприятното. Например, ако трябва да пътуваш в четвъртък, имаш полет и няма как да го отмениш, просто изкараш багажа още сряда вечерта.
So you can advise the devotee. You can put his, put whatever paraphernalia he's bringing for the program. Tell him to put it outside his door, or put it out in the van on Wednesday night, and then he began his journey on Wednesday, and it's okay.
И да кажете на този праводан, който се притеснява да даде лекция в четвъртък, просто да всичко, което му е необходимо за лекция, да го изкара и да се сложи в колата още в сряда.
If he wants to be that fussy.
Ако иска да бъде толкова.
I mean, just imagine if, the President of the United States said, please come to the White House. I want to take up Krishna consciousness so I can lead the United States of America to become Krishna conscious. And he calls me on a Thursday afternoon and say, well, sorry, President Rama, it's Thursday afternoon.
Представете си, че президент Обама ми се обади и ме покани в Белия дом, защото иска да стане Кришна в съзнание.
This is called being too attached to the rules and regulations without understanding the purpose behind them.
И аз му откажа, защото е четвъртък след обед. Това се нарича да се следват правилата и предписанията, без да се разбира каква е целта.
It's called in Sanskrit niyamagraha.
На санскрит това се нарича niyamagraha.
And it's one of the six things that can cause one to fall down from Krishna consciousness.
Това е едно от шестте неща, които могат да причинят падане от Кришна съзнание.
So I would just take it as Krishna's mercy that you could give a lecture.
И аз това би го приел като милост на Кришна, ти да дадеш лекция.
I've seen that you're a competent preacher.
Аз съм видял, че ти си компетентен.
I saw you distributing the books in Burgas, in front of the McDonald's.
Да разпространяш книги в Бургас пред Макдоналдс.
You're a very powerful preacher. I've seen that in Guru Bhakti.
Ти си много могъщ проповедник, Гуру Бхакти. Аз съм го.
So you should have given the lecture.
Така че ти трябва да
Okay, Narada Muni.
Той трябва да си го зададе. He should ask, because he should ask. He's asking on his behalf.
Yes, because he doesn't speak.
Because he understands. Is there any difference between the kids Ratha Yatra and for the big Ratha Yatra?
The kids' Ratha Yatra is very big Ratha Yatra. Prabhupada had kid Ratha Yatra when he was a kid. And it was very big Ratha Yatra. Big means how big it is in your heart. You see, big doesn't mean number of people. Big means how much bhakti you put into that festival. That is big. If you understand that the Supreme Personality of Godhead has manifested on my Ratha Yatra cart so that I can serve Him with love and attract the whole world to become His devotees, then your Ratha Yatra is the biggest Ratha Yatra. When Prabhupada had his kids' Ratha Yatra, it was the whole neighborhood came out and participated. So when the children have Ratha Yatra, they should make it so attractive that everyone will come to get the darshan of Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra. Hare Krishna. Okay?
Wouldn't it be big for him if he is chanting and dancing himself?
What is it a question?
No, she had just that it would be big for him if he was personally dancing and chanting.
Were you dancing and chanting in ecstasy? Were you? Then it's big. When I came to the airport the other day, there was these two children. Where are they now? This little girl here, and that little boy, Gaurahari. They were chanting and dancing with so much ecstasy. I couldn't believe it. They were like transcendental madmen, both of these little kids. I couldn't believe it. I just looked at them. I became intoxicated just seeing these little kids. I mean, they were in samadhi. I couldn't believe it. They were jumping up and down. I couldn't believe it. Like little, Kumara and Kumari, from the spiritual world. It was amazing to see them. You see, I'm serious. I've never seen that. I've come to the airport many times. I've never seen them dancing like that. It was just unbelievable. They were jumping, and they were just totally in samadhi. It was incredible, amazing to see it. That was big. That was very big. I was so overwhelmed by the ecstasy of seeing these children chanting in ecstasy like that. So it's a matter of your consciousness. You have to learn to dive deep into the kirtan. In great ecstasy, take shelter, dive into this ocean of the holy name. And then your Ratha Yatra will be huge. Any other questions?
But I want to encourage him also. He has promised that he's going to chant 4 rounds from today every day.
Very good. Haribo. Now you keep your vow. Don't ever neglect your vow. Any other questions?
He said one before breakfast, one before lunch.
He can do 4 before breakfast, I think. That's better. So, anything else? All right. Rupa Manahar Prabhu.
Понеже става въпрос за мантруването и случва се предано дадените им остава някой кръг от предния ден. И не, всъщност от същия ден закъсняли с кръговете, но вече става късно и да кажем 9, 10, 11, обаче те са решени твърдо да мантруват, да си свършат кръговете. Това е единия вариант, а другия вариант, ако се стане много му се спира човек и това всъщност няма да е, поне според мен, никакво мантруване. И дали е допустимо, то е ясно, че кое е по-доброто, дали да си свърши същия ден с кръговете или да остави тия 2-3 кръга, ако много му се спи, много изморен до следващия ден. Това е въпрос.
Because we spoke about the chanting and he's talking about two ways, two situations. He's talking about two situations. One is you chanted some rounds, but there are some rounds left, and it's already getting very late, like 10, 11 o'clock in the evening. And the other situation is that you get up early in the morning, but you're sleepy. And so in this situation, you might think that I may chant the rounds, but they will not be very good rounds, so better maybe leave it for tomorrow or for late in the day.
It's according to what you can handle, really. It's always better to favor the rounds, unless it's totally impractical. There are ways to wake up. You can go and take a shower. You can walk back and forth. You can go outside in the cold winter for about 60 seconds. There are ways to wake up. And in the early morning, same thing. You know, you can take your fingers and go like this on your eyes. That helps sometimes. You know, just because the eyes keep getting, the eyelids get really heavy, you know. You just go like this, you know. It can help. There's different things you can do to help, you know, sit straight or get up. The easiest thing is just stand up. You can be really drowsy sitting up. If you stand up even for like 15 seconds, it helps you get your consciousness back. And if you're thinking, I'm just so tired, I actually need more sleep. But go ahead and get your rounds done and then take a nap. It's better if you need more sleep and you got up early and you think, boy, I really got up too early, my body needs my rest. Go ahead and chant your rounds and then take a nap. At least I know for myself, I can sleep anytime I want. But chanting, that's best done in the early time of the day. Now, if somebody has insomnia, that may be a different thing. They have a very hard time going to sleep. So it has to be judged according to individual devotees also. Everybody has their own psychophysical makeup. But the best thing is always to favor the chanting, as far as possible. Our tendency is to want to favor the body and not the chanting. So we have to fight off that tendency by intelligence. Any other questions?
Someone has insomnia, wouldn't it be better when they are in insomnia, they get up and chant?
Yeah. Well, they may say that I have to get once I fall asleep, I need to get my full rest instead of breaking it. They may argue that. That means such a person has to go to bed early so they can get up early. Now, the best thing is to always favor the chanting. I know one example, there was one of our members of our society, she wrote an article for Back to Godhead magazine, very nice article. She was going to graduate school at the time, and it was very, very difficult. All the papers, all the classes, studying for the exams, it was really heavy. She came home from a grueling day at the university, grueling day. There was her bead bag, no rounds chanted. There was a paper she had to write. There was an exam she had to study for. She said, what should I do? And she finally decided to chant first. Because then after she chanted, she realized, I'm doing this for Krishna. I'm studying taking this course for Krishna's service. Everything, once she put the japa first, then everything else had meaning. She felt so happy and satisfied once she put the chanting first. Because then all of our other activities had meaning and purpose because they were for Krishna. But if you put the chanting last, then you're doing all these other activities and you're not in a state of Krishna consciousness when you're doing them. And therefore you're frustrated, you're unhappy, you make so many mistakes. But if you put Krishna first, my chanting is the first priority every day. Then you'll understand, just like Bhaktivinoda Thakur. I'm going to work to earn this money to maintain Krishna's household. You see? Everything is for Krishna. Everything is for Krishna. So now that we're thinking of making everything for Krishna, we will end this class. So everybody can finish their rounds if they haven't finished them yet. And get, whatever service needs to be done can be done very nicely in a first-class way with love and devotion. And everyone can take rest as early as possible and have wonderful Krishna-conscious dreams of Lord Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra ki jai. 4:30 Mangalarti. Be here on time with Tilak. Hare Krishna. Bulgaria devotees ki jai.